and welcome everyone to yet another episode of this podcast, Upfront and Personal. Here is your host Ananya, all set to become upfront and personal with everyone listening. Hi, you guys. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are having a great day. And if not, I hope you're not beating yourself up about it because honestly, it's not worth it. I understand we are all midweek trying to just somehow deal with our to-do list and it can get overwhelmed. That's why I decided to make this episode. Uh, Before this episode, I released the episode about 5 things that you should do in your morning, 5 constructive habits that you should include in your morning routine to have a productive routine as you go ahead in your day. And it was all about what can you do so that you can do things better, you can be more present, you can be more productive, you can be more proactive. And it was all about energy because that's the mood I think I want in my mornings. But in the night, because this is the night counterpart of that video, I am going to talk about things that you can do in the night so that you can relax, you can unwind, you can end your day on a very peaceful, beautiful note, and you don't beat yourself up too much about whatever has happened. The day has passed, now you are tired, you have done a lot of work, and if nothing, you have survived the day. All right, so now you need to unwind and you need to go to bed for a beautiful sleep. Now, you can go to bed at 10 o'clock and you can go to bed at 2 o'clock, and all of these 5 things will still apply. Similarly, very similarly to what I said in my morning routine video, is that very important to acknowledge that everyone has a subjective and different routine. But even then, I think these 5 habits will make anybody's night a little bit better. It will add to the quality of life. It will make sure that you have a good sleep. It will make sure that you unwind properly. And it will make sure that you end your day on a relaxed and peaceful note. So, without further ado, let's get started with the first habit that I think everyone should have in their nighttime routine. Number 1, make sure to have a basic skincare routine in the nighttime. Now, I am not saying that this is women specific. I am not saying that this is an age group or a background specific. Absolutely not. The kind of skincare routine I want you to have is regardless of gender, is regardless of background, it's regardless of anything. It's extremely important for us to take care of our skin, right? And I know the society has worked extremely hard to tell men or the male members of the society or people who associate with male gender that listen, your skin is fine. Only female gender or women or girls, they worry too much about how they look. But let me tell you, friend, skincare is not about how you look. Skincare is about well-being. Taking care of your skin and investing in good skincare and giving some time and effort to attain knowledge as to what works best for your skin and hence to design your skincare routine. All of this effort, all of this process is not for you to look good. Yes, looking good maybe is a consequence of that, but it's actually you taking care of yourself. Skin is the largest organ of your body, and I think, as I said in my morning video, it's extremely important to wear SPF because the entire point of morning skincare routine is to protect yourself, and the entire point of nighttime routine is to make sure that your skin heals. When you sleep, you guys, you must have a basic understanding of when you're sleeping, your entire body, your organs, they all rejuvenate. Your digestive system, your mind, they all relax a little bit, and they all have like 6 to 8 hours of just making sure that everything is settled, everything has had a little bit of peace and quiet and some time to themselves, and the body is relaxed, body is resting after the entire hustle of the entire day. Similarly, with the skin also needs to replenish itself when you're sleeping. That's why it's extremely important to not go to bed with any kind of dust and dirt or sunscreen or makeup on, because when all of these things are on your face and you're sleeping, your skin will not be able to do the task. Your skin will not be able to accomplish the task of replenishing, of rejuvenating itself, because it would be too muddled up with these unnecessary things. you should take all of this off. And second thing, you should give your skin those products in the night time so that it can work with those products and replenish itself. So you gotta help that skin out, all right? It is begging for your help. So there are only two things that every person across the board should do, irrespective of skin, irrespective of weather type, skin type, whatever. First thing is wash your face. If you're just wearing sunscreen throughout the day, which I really, really sincerely hope that you are, then just wash your face. It doesn't matter if you have washed it in the morning or not. I mean, the schools are divided as to if you want to or if you should wash your face necessarily in the morning or not, but nobody is divided on the fact that you should wash it necessarily in the night, because in the night you have to get all that gunk out. And I do not care if you were just wearing sunscreen and you never stepped out of the house, because you have to take that sunscreen off. And listen, we live in such a polluted atmosphere that even when we are working from home, even when we are indoors, our skin can still get damaged and our skin can still pick up all these dust and dirt particles, right? So you have to wash your face in the night, sorry. And if you're wearing makeup, then you have to double cleanse your face. Now, what is double cleansing? Just to give a little bit idea, if you want to know more about it, you can go to my skincare series and literally binge watch and figure out what double cleansing is. But just to give you an overview, double cleansing means your first cleanser needs to be a oil based cleanser, which could be an oil or it could come in the form of balm, and then you follow it up with your normal face wash. So if you're wearing makeup, do it like a double cleansing system, and if you're just wearing sunscreen, do a face wash, at least a face wash. There are a lot of times when people say that even if you're wearing sunscreen, you should double cleanse because it takes that much effort to take the sunscreen out. But again, I am not someone who follows that. So if you want to double cleanse, even on the days you have no makeup on, just sunscreen, that's completely fine. Go do that. But even if you're not doing that, at least use a face wash. Even if you are a man, use that. And then if nothing, follow it up with a moisturizer. If you follow it up with 100 different things but you don't put a moisturizer, all of this is going to go to waste. The basic thing is at least put a moisturizer. Even if you are an oily or combination skin type, don't think that every moisturizer is going to break you out. You can put a little bit lighter one, but your moisturizer, what it does, it helps you to maintain the skin barrier. It's very, very important so that your skin gets the time to replenish itself when you're sleeping. So if nothing, then wash your face and moisturize. That's it. Have a very simple basic routine. The second thing is wear comfortable clothes when you go to bed. Guys, sleeping is extremely important for us to function, for our brain cells to function, for our body to heal and relax. We cannot achieve anything, we cannot function properly if we are sleep deprived. And for us to have a really good sleep, we need to be comfortable while we are sleeping. And hence, to be comfortable, we need to make sure that we're wearing something which is not coming in between us and our comfort. Do not wear any material which is like silk or synthetic or stuff like that. That's irritating to your body. Wear comfortable pajamas, and I'm not saying you go buy and do shopping of pajamas or anything. Even a loose t-shirt or a loose kurta, whatever you prefer to wear that. Anything that you are comfortable in, preferably cotton, because cotton is the best material to wear while you're sleeping. And also, if you can, don't wear any kind of lingerie, don't wear any kind of undergarments, because then make that it sort of clings to your body, whether it's a bra or it's an underwear or anything of that sort. It clings to your body because that's how the fit is, and it doesn't let your bits breathe. Of course, if you're on periods or anything, if you have to wear it, of course, I'm not saying anything against that, but make sure to go to bed without a bra on. Especially, I'm saying that to teenage girls or women of any age group. In fact, it's very important for our breasts to be also free, especially when we are sleeping. So yes, do not wear bras to bed. And even though it might feel a little bit different if you're not used to it, but please get used to it, because actually it's extremely unhealthy to go to bed with a bra on. And even your clothes other than your undergarments, don't go to bed with any kind of sweaters on. Don't go to bed with really heavy pajamas or with socks on and all of that. It's very, very harmful, more harmful than we realize it to be. You shouldn't wear sweaters and hoodies and socks, because they just they really, no matter how cold it is, you make sure that your blanket is heavier. Don't go to bed with these sweaters and woolen clothes on, because A, it's not a comfortable fabric. B, you shouldn't wear such heavy clothes, such heavy clothing when you're sleeping. It's not nice for this heavy clothing to cling onto your body while you're just trying to relax. Even when you're taking a nap, all of this also really applies when you're taking a nap, or you are just you're just asleep in general at any time of the day. But when we're talking about night specifically, please don't go to bed with such clothes on. And try and invest in some kind of bed sheets. If you can invest in other things, try and invest in some kind of bed sheets or mattress that are comfortable. Your mattress shouldn't be too soft and your mattress shouldn't be too hard. And I'm not saying that buy a silk pillowcase or a silk bed sheet or whatnot, but just buy something that's comfortable. Buy something that suits your skin, that makes you comfortable. Because just think about it, right? You sleep for about 6 to 8 hours in a day. Even if you sleep for 6 hours, you are spending 1/4 of your life sleeping. If you are sleeping 8 hours, you are sleeping for about 1/3 of your entire life. So your bed and the clothes that you wear when you go to bed, and your bed sheet, your pillowcases, all of these are actually involved in at least 1/3 to 1/4 of your life, and they determine the quality of that particular portion of life. So there is no shame in investing in that. you know if you don't recharge your phone is not going to work. Sleeping is just like recharging your body. So invest in that and do not feel ashamed about that. Number 3, make sure that you pee before bed. I'm not going to go into much detail with that, but it's extremely important, as I said, for our entire body to be at ease and our entire body to be very comfortable when we go to sleep. But if you go to sleep with a heavy bladder, it's not going to help your case at all. You're going to get nightmares, you're going to feel uneasy and uncomfortable, and you have to get up a lot of times to just go pee, and that's just a very, very undesirable situation. Even talking about it makes me feel like, oh, this would be really uncomfortable. So don't, please do yourself a favor and pee. It takes 1 second. I mean, I don't know how much pee you have to do, but it literally takes no time. Go to the washroom, pee, and then you will be free of it and you'll have a much better sleep. So yeah, make sure that your digestive system, your bladder, all of that is free before you go to bed. Number 4, definitely is that you brush your teeth. Yes, you guys, the entire idea, you must have gotten a hang of it by now. The entire idea is to go to bed where you are clean, where you are prim and proper, and you don't have any kind of gunk attached to yourself. So what you should do is you brush your teeth. No matter if you have brushed your teeth 1,000 times in the day, at least brush it once just after you wake up and once just before going to bed. These two are most prime important times. Brush your teeth, and not only brush your teeth but also clean your tongue. If you want, you can also use a mouthwash, that's completely fine. And yeah, just go to bed with a healthier and cleaner mouth, because all those germs and if any kind of food particles that remain after your dinner, all of this is going to really bother you, and it's going to come in the way of a better and robust oral health that you would otherwise have had. So just brush your teeth. It takes 5 minutes. Just do that and clean your tongue, preferably not with the same brush with which you are brushing your teeth. I would really not advise that. I mean, I find it a little bit gross personally. Just buy a reusable tongue cleaner and you will be sorted. Number 5, and the last tip that I'm going to give you is that make sure to have a light dinner. You guys, I was not someone who used to go to bed with a light dinner. I would always have, I would not really necessarily have a heavy dinner, but my lunch and dinner were of the same consistency. Like I would have 2 to 3 rotis in my lunch, and same with dinner, and with dal, sabzi or whatnot. Like I am a North Indian. My cuisine is North Indian, right? But I realized about a year back when I decided that I want to lose weight. So I'm like, what do I do? And my mother suggested, if you want to have light dinners. And I'm like, okay, I can try that. And I started having only dals, or which is like lentils or soups or salads and stuff like that for my dinner. So what I do, I have a big cereal bowl, not the small bowl in which I usually have dal if I'm having other things also with it. I just have that like cereal bowl sort of a thing, and I'll fill it to the brim with either dal or soup or salad or anything, and then I'll have that. And that would be my dinner. Like one dish would be my dinner. And if I do not have that kind of dal, that amount of dish, then what I'll do, I'll take normal amount of dal and sabzi, which I would have eaten with roti in lunch, and I take that and I don't eat the roti. So I just eat the dal and sabzi part of it. If you are a North Indian or an Indian, you'll be able to understand all of this better. And my apologies if you are not from India and you're not able to understand this entire cuisine a little bit in the way that I'm trying to explain. But the entire, like, the idea of it is that I significantly reduced portions. Now, why did I do it? Because I wanted to reduce weight and I wanted to lose weight. Did I lose weight? Yes, I lost about 13 kgs past year, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm not saying that it only happened because of light dinners and everyone should aspire to be of a certain shape or size. No, I am not sure how fundamental these light dinners were when it comes to the weight loss part of it, but I definitely know that I have been sleeping much better since then, the time I started having light dinners. And now it has come to a point where I can't have a full meal and go to bed. I just can't do that. I need to have a little bit of a light dinner. And I understand if you are someone who is averse to that, or you feel like I don't want to do that, dinner is my like favorite meal of the day or whatnot. I was able to do that because I'm anyways not a big dinner person. Like dinner was not something that I look forward to, because by the time dinner comes, I'm done with the day and I don't really care what I'm putting in my body. That's my personal thing. But even though you love your dinners, I'm not saying to abandon dinners. I'm not telling you to just have, I don't know, uh, a piece of a roti for dinner. I'm not saying all that. Have ample amount. But okay, eat 70% of what your hunger is. 60 to 70%, I would say. If you are hungry for like 100, just eat 60 or 70. And that way what you'll do is you'll go to bed light stomach. You will not be starving, because again 60-70% of your hunger is satisfied. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, if you leave out the greed and the craving part of eating, and if you just eat for sustenance, we don't really have to feel satisfied. We just don't have to eat 100% of our hunger to feel satisfied. Even if we do 60 to 80%, we will be fine. And if you have read this beautiful book Ikigai, a lot of people in Japan who have lived a really long life, they said that they always try to eat 80% of their hunger, which is such a cool concept. Now there is no amount, or there is no sort of measurement in which you can measure your own hunger. I'm just saying, just take a ballpark idea of it. And yeah, try and reduce your portions, and in fact try and have little bit of an early dinner. I'm not saying have a dinner at 6 o'clock, but whenever you're going to bed, at least make sure that you have at least 2 to 3 hours of difference between you having dinner and going to bed. Don't have dinner and then go to bed, because I no matter how light your dinner was, if you just follow the dinner up with sleep, I think you'll never feel light stomach. You need to give your body a little bit of time to digest it, because even though, you know, people can have different routines and people can have fluctuating routines, I think there is no person in the world who really gyms or runs or whatnot after dinner. So after dinner, you're sort of in this unwinding space. You speak with your family, maybe you work, maybe you give time to your hobbies. Whatever you do, you're not going to gym, you're not going to walk around that much, right? As much as you have done in the entire day. So it's very important to understand that your body gets a lot of time, and your body gets a lot of body movement to digest your lunch and breakfast. It's extremely easy for your body to digest your breakfast and lunch than it is to digest your dinner. So you have to be very careful about that. So have a lighter dinner, about 70% of your hunger, and try to have 2 to 3 hours of difference between your dinner and when you go to sleep. Now, are we on the same page? Have I bored you enough? These were the 5 habits, guys, which I think every person should have, every person should necessarily inculcate in their routine to just unwind better and to have a very peaceful end of the day. It's 10:15 p.m. right now, and it's pretty late for me as well. So I'm not going to sleep right now. But I'll tell you what, I have had dinner at 9 o'clock, and I will not be sleeping till 1 o'clock, and I've had just a bowl of dal, so I'll be fine. And I will make sure that I pee before going to bed. I will make sure that I go to bed in comfortable clothes, and yes, I will do my skincare routine. I will assure you that. Okay, guys, now I'm gonna leave you and I'm gonna go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.